So some time back, I had mentioned to a few people that it'd be neat to see some of their artwork. Um, I know Maxie, she showed some of her paintings, and to knock it off, Karina, she showed us some really beautiful work, paintings on drums and other things that she's done. And I'd meant to put some things up, but I never got around to it, so here I am. It's show and tell time. Usually show and tell was on Wednesdays when I went to grade school, but I gotta work, so I can't do it on Wednesday. I gotta do it today. So anyways, I used to make a lot of things out of copper and brass. I still do occasionally, like the brass guitar behind me. But I used to kind of mass produce in small quantities things like this, little tricycles out of copper and brass. I would bend the wheels out of old brass bushing material and cut the spokes and solder them in and bend the seat and make the little bell and the pedals. I used to make the wheels move, but people would play with them, and then they get broken, and they were constantly bringing them back to me to fix them. I got sick of fixing them, so I just made the wheels not move. Solved that problem. I've got a couple of horse heads here that I made for a steam-powered machine, which you'll see later in a photo that I've got. But I make these out of Sculpey clay. This is made out of white Sculpey. This is the red Sculpey. Keep it hollow in the big part of it, for one, to save on Sculpey, and it also bakes, seems to bake better with a hole in the middle. Otherwise it would end up cracking. So anyways, and I sand this off flat. You'll see when I show you the other machine that it goes to. Kind of, it's funny, I can't even draw a horse. I cannot draw a horse that looks this good, but I can make it out of clay. Go figure. And I make this other little horse, which, wait a minute, didn't I show you that already? Yeah. Wake me up when we get there. Here's another thing. This is a car I made. It's artistically, I used some artistic license, but it's modeled after an old, dang, I can't remember the name of the car now. Ah, well. Anyway, it's all made out of scrap copper, brass. The wheels are made out of old brass belt buckle rings that used to be real popular in the 60s and 70s. You could make your own belts. The grill, that part of it is an old brass sump pickup that would pick up oil from machinery and filter the large chunks out. The engine, some parts like the cylinders are old lamp parts. This here carburetor intake, I think that is, that's an old needle valve fitting from a carburetor. The fan blade is an old clock gear that I cut to look like a fan. So the headlights are old lamp fittings, as are the hubs, which I adapted. Those are from lamps. Springs are made out of old shim stock that I cut, shaped. The other side of the engine, I don't know, we saw this side. Just the exhaust, little generator down there, starter, I don't know, perfect. The inside, steering wheel. I just like the shape of this car, so I had to build it. I love the boat tail design of it. Pretty cool car. I'd like to have one of these, driving around the streets. And I have another piece here, a little harder to show you, maybe because it's big. This is a Foden steam wagon that I copied. I saw a picture in a book and I kind of scaled everything off of that. The spokes for these rear wheels are made out of the wire, the copper contacts inside of track lighting. You know, the track lighting that people put on their ceilings and you can move the lights around on it. These are what's inside this copper bar, and I cut that to make the spokes. The wheels are some bushings out of an old blower from the old Majeska Theater in Milwaukee. When I was repairing it, I absconded with the brass and used it for wheels. These wheels are made from a piece of copper pipe, and I just sliced it into a section and soldered spokes in there. The smokestack is part of a nozzle from an old fire hose. Some of the parts up here are out of old carburetors. The gears I get from old clocks or speedometers or time clocks, wherever I can find them in. And some things I manufacture from pieces of metal. Excuse me. The gears here are old 1960s slot car gears. This pulley I made out of a piece of copper tubing and a gear out of a clock. Steering wheel is also, I think, a balance wheel out of a clock. The hose is old telegraph wire from Illinois that somebody I know found and gave me a little roll of copper wire because they knew I made things out of copper. So that's it. That's one of my favorite ones, I think, this steam wagon. Anyway, I have quite a few photos of things that I've built in the past, but I'm too lazy to put them on my computer. But I do have a few photos that are going to come up after this. Maybe a few of the other things that I built out of copper and brass, but I don't have any photos of some of the other things I've done, larger projects. Anyways, that concludes today's show and tell, and I hope you have a nice Sunday, and have a good week next week. See ya.